For me, anything that would fight corruption, I support it. Whatever shape or form it takes, insofar as it is legal, it falls within the confines of the law. I think we have enough tools to fight corruption in Ghana. We have YOCO, we have CID, we have NIB. These are all very good institutions. We have the Auditor General's reports that we get year on year. So there are so many tools to fight corruption. But corruption in Ghana is, I would even say, there's a directly proportional to the cost of politics in Ghana. Many of the things that you see or that we end up as political corruption cases are things that, from where I sit and the little experience I've had, well, of course, that were incurred because political parties or politicians needed resources to go and do the things that we call politics in Ghana. Politicking, campaigning, and all that. There's always a trend. When we are getting closer to elections, you hear of galamsey on the rise. When we're getting closer to elections, you hear of fertilizer smuggling. When we're getting closer to elections, you hear of cocoa smuggling, gold smuggling. It's all within the same space because people want to find resources, or political parties want to find resources to run such expensive campaigns that we see. One of the things that would help us solve this problem, and not just maybe oral or ocal, as some people call it, whatever it is, would be to have a political parties funding act so that we can trace the sources of funding for our politics. When somebody enters public office and all of a sudden becomes a rich man, and all of a sudden is flying first class, all of a sudden is going on holiday. You can be going on holiday, yes, fine, but maybe you're going on holiday every 3 months with your family, or flying business class with your whole family, or first class with your whole family. I'm not saying if you can afford it, generally it's a bad thing, no. But you see somebody enter public service and all of a sudden is building a 5-bedroom mansion in your neighborhood. All these things should raise eyebrows. But in our society, those are the people that we praise. So there's no incentive to stop people from taking public funds. That's number one. Oral, for me, I see it as part of the politics of governance. That we promise that we're going to go after people who have looted from the state and all that. So we are fulfilling that promise. Fine, I don't have a problem with it. But I sincerely believe that we had all the tools that could have helped us to achieve that without necessarily creating oral and all its illegalities or legalities. For me, I don't want to go into those details, but the substance of my submission is that at the end of the day, the people of Ghana must be the beneficiaries of whatever oral does in terms of recouping our resources, whether they were stolen, we were not stolen, whether we can prove them, we cannot prove them. At the end of the day, the people of Ghana must get their resources back because the scandals are becoming too many.
Under
government after government. You can start from even Kwame Nkrumah's government. Golden Beds and all that. Rollins with all his accountability and probity. The corruption cases. Kufuor's government. Atanos's government. John Mahama's government. The Kufado's government. So, and it's like the proportion keeps increasing. We hear of large, $20 billion is not a small money, if that is true. But $20 billion, then we don't need to go to IMF. We need to just go and look for these monies and recoup them. And we can run the country because these resources are with people. Even recouping them will not be easy. Assuming that all this is even true. I want to use an example that we have in West Africa, in Nigeria. Abacha and all the loot that was supposedly stolen and sent to the Switzerland. How did the Swiss government treat that loot? It's taken over 20, 30 years to recoup just $5 million or $3 million here and there when we are told that the loot was over $5 billion. That $5 billion then is today about $20 billion. So it's within that same range. Even if it is true, recouping the money itself is not going to be an easy task. But I think that the Attorney General has a yeoman's task to be able to recoup that money. We should rather focus on how we prevent future occurrences. I also believe that we should be looking at that, how we prevent future occurrences, and how we strengthen our institutions so that individuals will not have even the thought of dipping their hands into the public coffers. It's as if there's no punishment for it. It's as if nobody will be chastised for it. And there's no moral authority, really and truly. Even the oral team itself, where lies their moral authority? These things happen similar things happened under John Mohammed's regime, the first regime. Where were they? Maybe Domlovo was a loud one. He was very vociferous, and whether even whilst in power and out of power. But the others, some of them turned up when NPP came into power. I hope they will continue. I believe that if you carve a path for yourself in public life, especially as an anti-corruption person, you should also have a certain moral authority and stance that, come what may, you would also stand firm and be able to protect the public purse. And these are even the big ones that we know of, or the ones that have come into public light. There are so many small ones that we never get to know, because sometimes our political leaders say that Ghanaians are magicians. How do Ghanaians feed at home? I mean, if you look at our paltry salaries and our paltry incomes, but people earn 3,000 cedis, yet live lives of 30,000 Ghana cedis a month. So there are so many questions that we need to ask. There are so many questions that we need to ask ourselves. I remember one politician saying that we pretend to pay the people and the people pretend to work. Why will we pretend to pay the people so that people pretend to work? It's because we don't pay them well. Maybe it's one of the reasons why people would dip their hands into public office. But for me, oral, I know that they brought their work to a close. And they've handed over their files to the Attorney General and to the President. The President has instructed the Attorney General to go ahead and look beyond it. So we firstly, whoever is in charge of oral or oral and its appointees have done their best. We just wait to get the report and then know what to do with it.
Right.